Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing this really dark black and silver smoky eye. I have been seeing the Natasha Denona Xenon palette everywhere. If you haven't seen it, it's very like black, gray, silver. Just beautiful palette. I did order it. I haven't received it yet, but I did order the Glamlite and Ghostface palette, which just came in a couple days ago. So I wanted to play around with that because it has a lot of those similar tones, and I absolutely love this look. So if you want to see how to get this look, which will be perfect for Halloween, then just keep on watching. Okay, I'm going to start off my look as usual, priming with the Sigma Beauty eyeshadow primer in the shade Persuade. And I'm just applying that all over for a nice even canvas to work with. And now I'm just buffing that out with a Zoeva 142 brush. I get asked about this brush a lot. They do still make it, they just don't make the rose gold version, but it's still on their website as the 142. Okay, so for the eyeshadows, I'm going to be taking my Glamlite and Ghostface palette just because it has some really nice cool tones in it. And here is what that palette looks like. So definitely more cool tone grays, a little bit of some like bluish gray colors, but it's really pretty. I've only used it once, so I wanted to play with it again. First, I'm going to take that shade Movie Night, and then with a Sigma E35 brush, I'm first going to press that into my crease, and then I'm going to start buffing it out. I'm going to start out with this shade, but I might go in with a different color. My biggest tip, if you have like a more warmer complexion and you're using cool tone grays, they don't want to blend as smoothly into your skin tone because it's not the same tone as your skin tone. It's actually the complete opposite. So it's a little bit trickier to get them to blend together. So that's why you'll see a lot of people go in, even if they're doing a cool tone look, they'll go in with like a warm brown in the crease. It just makes everything blend a lot better. Versus if you had a more fair, cooler tone skin tone, usually these blend a lot easier. I'm going to take that shade Chilled Frost so you can see that compared to that first color. It's still cool tone, but it has a little bit more brown to it. And with that same brush, I'm just going to overlap it just to make it a little bit more brown and less gray. I took my brows like too far in today and that's all I can look at, so I'm sorry because now that's all that you will look at. Okay, so I'm just buffing that in, really getting in that inner corner area and then out towards the tail of my brow. Now I'm going to take the shade Shadows back, and I'm going in with a Sigma E25 brush, and I'm first packing that on the outer corner, and then I will start to buff it out. And I don't have any concealer on yet, so I'm not really worried about fallout. So I'm putting that on the outer corner, and I'm also going to take it up into the crease, really defining that crease because we're going to go pretty smoky. Go in a little bit more with that. I'm not really worrying about blending the crease out with this brush. It's more of applying that into the crease. And now with that E35 with no more product on there, that's where I'm going to start blending out that darker brown. And now with that E35 brush, I'm going to start blending that eyeshadow out. I did not dip into any more shadow. It's just whatever is left over from earlier. Really diffusing that out. Now I'm going to take the shade Pure Ghostface, which you can see has a little bit more purple to it. And I'm going to take that directly into the crease with a Sigma E33 brush. I'm kind of just layering up these colors. It's going to give me a lot more dimension in this look. Yeah, I like that. It's just making a little bit more purple. And then I'm going to put that one on the outer corner as well. Just doing that pressing motion and then blending it back up into that crease. And now with that E25, I'm going to blend everything out. And then with the E35, I'm going to diffuse all of the edges again. We want to keep this nice and blown out. I want a really nice dark black base, so I'm going to first go in with the eyeliner. This is the MAC Eye Kohl in the shade Feline. You just want one that blends out really well and won't set too quickly. Okay, so I just tight lined my eye with that, and now I'm going to run this across my lid, keeping it more towards like the bottom half because we're going to blend it out. Really make sure to get that lash line. Okay, and now with a clean Sigma E57 brush, I'm going to start blending that upwards using more patting motions. So I'm going to pat till about here. I just want it to be pretty diffused. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now I'm going to take the shade Total Suspense, which has this beautiful glitter to it. And with that same E57 brush, I'm going to press this all over the lid. It's going to adhere a little bit better because we lay down that eyeliner. I will say there's not a lot of glitter once it's actually on your lid. I feel like this is all just going to dust away, which it is. Oh yeah, that's basically turning into a matte black. So I'm still going to put a shimmer over it because that's kind of disappointing. I was hoping it would have that shimmer ran throughout it, especially since there's already a matte black in the palette. Okay, I'm going to try it with my finger. I mean, there's a little bit in there, but it's definitely still kind of dusting it away, and I feel like it's going to come off throughout the day. Okay, with that pure Ghostface eyeshadow again, which is that more purpley one, and that Sigma E33 brush, I'm going to diffuse out that black. And as I always say, I like to look forward and kind of see where that's sitting on my eye. And just really kind of perfect that shape. And then blend that out with that E35 brush. I don't wear a lot of cool tones because I feel that it makes my eyes look more brown versus more green, and I usually try and do whatever makes my eyes look more green. Okay, I'm going in with the matte black in the palette, or you can use the shimmery black. I'm kind of extending down this outer corner because I want to be able to connect it to that lower lash line, and it was up a little bit too high. So I'm first creating that shape with that flat brush, and then with that E33, I'm going to diffuse it out. And again, we haven't done concealer yet, so I can clean this up if I need to. So if you get to the point that it's just kind of bringing that color further and further out, I'm going to switch brushes again. And I'm going to take that E25 with that Chilled Frost shade, which was that more brown second color that we used, to blend that out. So now you can see that that's blending it out a little bit more without further bringing out the black. Okay, so here is where we are right now. I'm going to take a shimmer color and put it on the center of the lid. And for that, I'm going to use the silver, which is Midnight Robe. So I just apply that to my finger, and I'm going to press that on the center of my lid and just kind of pat outwards. I'm going to take that kind of higher up into the crease area as well. Ooh, that is really pretty. Now that we're to this point, I'm going to do mascara and lashes, and then clean up the lower lash line, apply some concealer, and then we'll come back and do the lower lash line. Okay, so I popped on some lashes, and I put on my under eye concealer. I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of powder. I don't always powder heavily underneath my eyes, but I want to make sure that this gray blends out really well. So that's why I'm lightly setting it. Otherwise, it's going to want to cling to my concealer. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and put that feline eye kohl in my waterline. I'm also going to put it down onto my lash line. Try and get rid of all of the skin space color between your lashes. That way it's solid black. Okay, so once that's fully in there, I'm just going to take a tiny little pencil brush to smudge it to, again, make sure I got every bit of space. So now you can see it's like solid black. Okay, now I'm going to take a Sigma E15 and that shade Vintage Mask, which is just the matte black. I'm going to stamp all across right on top of that liner to really lock it in place and, again, make it nice and dark. Okay, so now that I have that black all the way across, I'm going to take that pure Ghostface shade, which was that purpley one. I'm going to lightly run it across. My lids are really bright, so it's hard for me to do this on camera, but this is pretty much what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just going to keep building that up. Okay, and now with a stiffer brush, this is a Sigma E20, you can see where that black is kind of just stopped abruptly, and then you see the purple. I'm going to pat this in between to blend it out to where it's a nice gradient. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to take that Chilled Frost shade and that same E33 brush. I just wiped off the purple, and I'm going to go along the very bottom, kind of where my eye socket is. I like a very smoky lower lash line, and obviously this look is very dramatic, but you don't have to go this low if you don't want to. For the inner corner, I think I'm going to take the shade Mirror Gleam, which actually has like a purple and a green little shift to it. I might regret this. Let's try it. Okay, so I'm just going to apply that onto the inner corner. I'm just kind of packing that on there and then diffusing out. Okay, it's pulling more purple. I was afraid it would pull more blue-green, which will kind of just look like a dark circle through here, so I'm glad it's not pulling so greeny. Okay, so I just popped on some lower lash mascara, and here is that look completed. I feel like the camera's not even doing it justice of how actually dark and smoky this is. I really, really like this. I think I'm going to wear this one to work tomorrow, but yeah, I hope you guys like this look, and if you got this palette, let me know what kind of looks you're creating with it, and I will see you in my next one.